Hello. Broken noses, trash on my desk, and name calling. These are just some of the things that have happened to me. And most of the years I've been in school. No, I'm not telling you that all schools are terribly segregated and inadequate. Rather, it's more about me. While my classmates regularly poured gasoline on fire blazing between us. And it all started as early as the first quarter of first grade. Since I was a kid, I was a kid who was different from the packs. When I went to first grade, my inner state changed, and the essence came out. Everyone was very sociable, very mobile, and in general, at first glance, not bad guys. At recess, they were running around, and during lessons, we pulled girls' hair, and when we were bored, we twisted a pen and shot each other with wet paper, and everyone seemed to be just having fun. But not me. I'm in junior high school right now. I hardly ever went out during recess, and I didn't understand why my one-liners didn't work at all. And I just sat in the desk sometimes going to the bathroom or the canteen. When I watched the boys talk to the pretty girls and then run away, I just as sincerely did not understand why they were so weird. After all, the girls got hurt, but I saw only smiles on the faces of both of them. What was wrong with them? So gradually I became to understand that I'm not the world, and their stupidity and pranks didn't bother me and shouldn't. Although I admit that sometimes I also wanted to run, but I could not bring myself to fear that they would not run after me. Especially didn't like being called the blackboard. I can boast a bunch of A's in my report card, and I did my homework almost all the time. The exceptions were occasional laziness. And so when I was called, I just fell under the planks of the wooden floor and did not know what to say to this woman, demanding from me some answers to her widely complex words. Over time, I hated the place even more, for my classmates took a total shyness as a sign of stupidity, never missed an opportunity to leave a snarky comment. Sometimes they did so with reason, but the rest of the time, I wanted to hang them from the chandelier and make them sway like a ship from different directions, and then sink like the Titanic. Sorry for the breakdown. Let's get on with it. The first year, I had everything. I fought back, called names and defended my honor, and surprisingly, never took revenge on anyone, and just came home and complained to my mom asking, why are they doing this to me? I haven't done anything to them. And the answer I would always get was, they just don't understand. When you graduate from high school, it'll all be over. I believed her, and in the mornings I told myself that sometimes it helped, sometimes it didn't. In the second year, almost nothing changed except for the newcomers, who split into two different groups, and for some reason did not get along and only kept in touch with me. Apparently, we understood each other as outcasts. After a year or two, they would leave me and I would stay and continue the seemingly endless battle. By fourth grade, I had changed my signature pot-bellied haircut and started growing my hair back. This made a difference in our relationship, and I started noticing the leering stares outside of school as well. And one time when I went to the cafeteria buying a bun and the security guard next to me said, "Is that what a man looks like? Ugh, that's gross." I mustered all my will, took his hand away, and said it was none of his business. I was beginning to imagine how he was about to yell at me for contradicting him, but he just hummed and turned away. I realized that I shouldn't be afraid to tell people that they were wrong. I realized another reason I was getting screwed over and told my mom that I wasn't going to show up at school like that anymore. It wasn't because I had gone along with the crowd. It was just that my status somehow didn't allow it. But by fifth grade, everyone had grown a little stronger, taller, and I was still small, but had the bangs that grew longer and longer over time, which caused even more rage in my classmates, and more shells began to fly in my direction. And now fate was challenging me again. There was an addition to a third camp, the hard jerks. And unlike them, if my dudes ever gotten used to me, these ones were just cuckoos. Every week, every month thereafter, I had problems with all of them. There was no one who wouldn't leave me alone. Let's call him Rat Eater. And of course, he gathered an entourage of young gibbons just like him. Thanks to my sister, I listened to heavy metal. And if I went out after school, I wore a t-shirt with the face of Marilyn Manson, maxi pants, gel hair in front of my eyes like an emo, which I sometimes looked up to, but didn't take too seriously. At school, I heard that I started getting gay jokes. There was a time when I was locked in a woman's bathroom, for example, after which I came home again, but no longer just complaining, but crying into my mother's lap with the same questions about why life was so unfair to me. You'd think that you could just trim your bangs and start talking to everybody else and listen to normal music or whatever. But that's just it. What about my personality? What about my interests and my hobbies? Who I am as a person? Just become like everybody else in order to be accepted as one of their own? No, the wrong person is just being attacked. I'm going to stick to the last one. 6th grade passed all the same pace, but in 7th grade, things started to change. The aggression towards me began to subside. There was less fighting, the bullying had almost disappeared, and they even greeted me without squeamishness and asked me how I was doing. At first I thought, this is probably the calm before the storm. But everything was moving toward an almost imperceptible truce. And the beefy slob who fought with me was expelled and thrown into the waste garbage can. I could already see what the future held for him. 8th grade, and then some reason I still don't understand. I was accepted into the circle, and in my opinion, not quite normal, and I even liked it a little. But alas, I could not stay long, and in 9th grade, everything returned to normal. But it was not the same hatred as it was before, no. Now it was like we got to know each other, and our war went on with respect and revenge. That was the last year I got into a fight. And it hasn't happened since. And it happened when I was going upstairs to the 2nd floor during recess, and some chubby kid came down my way and whacked his cheap bag across my face. Well, I couldn't stand that kind of humiliation. I grabbed his left hand by his chest, and with my right hand I had punched him right in the face. After which, we fell down and we dropped down to the floor and fought. It didn't last long. We were separated by classmates, and we went to the principal's office, but when I returned to class, half the class secretly expressed their respect for me for punishing someone who pissed off almost half the school, but did not dare to knock out his portrait. And here I was reckless, so the year ended well overall. Thanks to my hobbies and my love for music, I practiced extreme vocals at home, and 6 months later I put together my first metal band. In the end, we never performed, and when my classmates found out about it, they started to tease me, like I was some kind of Tarzan with his monkeys, and now they plan to trash garbage cans together. I was happy anyway though, although the public opinion threw me off a little bit, but all that didn't stop me from getting a real high from being creative. I didn't go to 10th or 11th grade, or I had enough and I didn't want to endure another 2 years. Just because I was out of touch with my fellow villagers doesn't mean I didn't have friends. There were some, and even a few, but we hardly ever talked within the walls of our pen. But outside the walls, we basically hit it off. And I'm still friends with a couple now. And we often think back to the days when I was like a homeless child and bending his line and winning in the end. By the way, one of them told everyone that I was playing in a band, except he didn't tell them in a very nice way. So to speak, added humor. And they, as it should, have twisted a different truth. And now I'm drawing animation, writing music, and I let my imagination go full speed towards a bright future, which of course I wish for you as well. Don't fall for all the provocations and bullying and the bad people. Don't get into them if it's just not worth it. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Bye.